After winning 4 of their last 5 games, the Lakers seem to finally be finding their rhythm, identity, and most importantly, connection, with the ball moving, the bench responding, and the defense feeding the offense. The performance showcased a team that is beginning to understand itself, and Luka Dončić was the great mirror of it all.
Look, you guys have won 4 out of 5 here, and it seems like bench contributions are working, turnovers are working, threes are falling. What do you think's allowed to have so much connectivity in so many areas of the game right now?
I think just staying together, everybody just staying together. We talked about a lot of things, how we want to approach the game better. That's what we're doing right now. We're staying together. I think everybody's having fun out there.
Extending back to the Clippers game where JJ told us and told you, be cognizant of sharing the ball. You were able to score a lot, while also sharing the ball a lot. Like, what was working for you tonight?
I think I was just being aggressive, see what the defense gave you. I said probably JJ is going to be mad. I took 25 shots, so he would tell me to pass more. I'm kidding, but other than that, like I said, Rui was awesome. The whole bench was awesome today. They helped us a lot. They lift us up in the second quarter, in the third when we were going down. So props to them.
Yeah, when we were talking with him, he mentioned that, obviously everyone knows heat checks in terms of shots, but he also mentioned that sometimes you can have heat checks in terms of passing. Do you feel that when, you make a couple nice passes or have a few assists, you want to throw one with, I guess, a little bit more razzle-dazzle on it, see what you're feeling that night or that moment?
Yeah, the answer to that question is yeah, I feel it.
To one of Dave's questions, you guys have won 4 and 5. Seems like Austin, speaking of the guy that you love, is going to be coming back sometime very soon. I guess, how optimistic are you guys about where you guys can get to once he is back in the lineup and healthy?
Better for sure. Gives us 3, decision makers on the court. They have great talent, and we can't wait to have him back. He's been working out. I saw him, so I think he wants to be back too. So we're excited for him to be back.
One in native language. Luka, mogu da pitam šta kažeš što ste izabrani ti i Nikola Jokić da budete starteri na NBA All-Staru pod uslovom da se on vrati na vreme, naravno, zbog povrede?
Super, da. Mislim da svi znaju kakav prijatelj je Nikola, tako da to je super. Bićemo u LA-u, tako da ćemo verovatno biti skupa izvan vremena.
Šta kaže ovu sezonu, inače sve zajedno, kako si zadovoljan?
Super. Ima dobrih, ima slabih trenutka, ali inače za sad dobro.
JJ mentioned you talked to him a couple times tonight about wanting to go off the ball. Like, when you're in the course of a game, how do you figure out kind of when you need to come off the ball to get going or to help the team?
There's no specific time when I gotta go. Sometimes probably there's more ATOs after timeouts. I come off the ball, but there's no specific time when I need to come off the ball.
All right, Danny, time for a little Access 360. We're talking Laker defense, which led to a lot of Laker offense. 27 fast break plays.
They got out and running. Just that first half, they looked really good, intense, active, and talking and communicating. That's where defense starts.
JJ, they cut it to as few as 1, I think, in that third quarter, and then you had the response. So what did you see in the response, and what was kind of consistent with how you've been playing of late there?
We executed well offensively. I thought throughout the game, like I know Luka and LeBron, they took shots.
Luka made it clear that the secret lies not just in scoring points, but in staying together, reading the game, and having fun on the court. Even while being aggressive and scoring high, he chose to trust the pass, involve the team, and elevate the collective level, something JJ Redick highlighted as essential for the low number of turnovers and the high volume of assists. Luka's creativity, whether with the ball or off of it, energized the team, while the bench, with Rui, Jackson, and company sustained the game in critical moments. Intense defense, communication, and fast transition completed the package.
And they scored, but their patience to just pass and make the right play was really good. And whether it was Rui, Jake in the first half, Da on the roll, Jackson on the roll, they made a lot of really good simple plays. And that's reflected in our low turnover total. Another game where we get 25 plus assists and we're able to take care of the basketball, challenge the guys before the game. This is a team that really wants to score in the paint and push the pace, and we outscored them in fast break points. We outscored them in the paint. So we did a lot of the things that we talked about pregame. This is a team that, and truthfully, that's part of their run they went on. This is a team that really tests your square to red principles, so your switching principles, and they do a really good job of getting roller behind, changing foot angles, shooting behind the switch, and that's kind of how they got back into it. But yeah, just a really good job from our guys tonight.
What kind of level of talent, maybe is the right way to put it, but for Luka to get to 46 and without, I think, what do you take, 25 shots, and just how natural a lot of it looked. So can you just kind of put that in perspective?
Yeah, I mean, he has a really good sense of if they're blitzing me in pick and roll, to be that facilitator. And him and I are starting to get that good feel for when he needs to get off ball. When he's on ball and he's having to make a lot of plays, that can tax you. When he's guarding 1 through 5, red on the other end, there's a lot into it. And he came to me a couple times tonight. He was like, "Let's go to this off ball," and he was great off ball. He was great on ball. He was great in the post. He had his whole game working tonight.
Low turnover total could be a reflection of making the simple plays in front of you, but we also saw Luka with a number of remarkable passes. How can those energize his teammates, but also him, like keeping him engaged with the pass as much through the shot?
Yeah, he, it's similar to like some of the heat checks. I've talked about this. He's an engine that's fully on, and he likes to create out there, and that's part of what makes him a great player. I think because I played with him, I have a pretty good understanding of that. And not to say it doesn't test your patience at times, but you have to be willing to live with some of the stuff that he tries, because more often than not, you're going to get a great result. And he had some great passes. He made some amazing shots. But there's that creative element that he needs to thrive, and you've got to allow that.
How important was what Rui gave you on both ends of the court tonight?
Yeah, I think our bench was awesome. All those guys impacted the game in some way. Rui and Jackson in particular were really good tonight. And Rui now feels like, I know he had the 4 for 13 game recently, but it feels like he's kind of back in his groove. He had not taken a ton of shots and kind of, I don't think was playing well. And I told him that, so I'm not trying to call him out, but he wasn't playing well leading into his injury. And then it takes a little bit of time to get back in that rhythm. And it feels like the last few games, he's back to who he was at the start of the year. And I think his defensive engagement, particularly the last 2 games, because in Dallas, he had a great defensive game on tape as the low man. And again, another good one tonight.
On Rui, I think it's the first time all season he's had at least 10 plus shots in 5 straight games. Is there something about the stagger with him off the bench that leads him to get to being featured a little more on the offensive end that can be harder as a starter?
Yes and no. There are certain games that, based on pick and roll coverages, for instance, that if he's just standing in the corner, he doesn't necessarily get it. And Chicago, they allow that pull behind pass in the pick and roll, and he got some shots out of that. And then
more than just a great individual night, it was a victory that showed maturity and collective growth. Luka played with the whole game at his disposal. JJ saw execution and patience, and the Lakers responded when they needed it the most. If this balance between aggressiveness, ball sharing, and defensive engagement continues, especially with the reinforcements returning, this team has everything to elevate its level this season.